Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar says her son was stopped by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents and asked to prove his citizenship. Omar claims the incident is part of a pattern of racial profiling amid an ongoing surge of ICE activity in Minnesota. She says her son was only released after producing his U.S. passport. The Congresswoman is now accusing immigration authorities of targeting young Somali men during enforcement operations. A stunning claim from Capitol Hill. Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar says her son was pulled over by federal immigration agents and forced to prove his American citizenship. Omar says the stop happened in Minnesota after her son made a routine visit to a Target store. According to the Congresswoman, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents questioned him and only let him go after he showed his U.S. passport. She says her son always carries that passport, not by choice, but out of fear. Omar describes the encounter as deeply alarming, warning it reflects racial profiling amid a surge of immigration enforcement in the Twin Cities. She says this was not an isolated incident. Omar claims ICE agents previously entered a mosque where her son and others were praying, leaving without incident, but leaving behind fear. The Congresswoman says immigration agents are targeting young men who look Somali, assuming they are undocumented, even though most Somali Americans are U.S. citizens. The confrontation comes amid a federal enforcement push in Minnesota, following rhetoric from U.S. President Donald Trump, who has openly criticized Somali immigrants, and Omar herself. Now Omar is demanding answers. She has written directly to the Department of Homeland Security and ICE leadership, accusing agents of blatant racial profiling and unnecessary force, and warning that federal actions are putting entire communities on edge. Minnesota is home to the largest Somali population in the United States, and tonight, that community is watching closely as questions grow louder about immigration enforcement, civil rights, and who is being asked to prove they belong.
The political battlefield just exploded in the United States. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is firing back, not with caution, but with unmistakable fury. At his Pennsylvania rally, U.S. President Donald Trump mocked her, questioned her citizenship, and once again fueled chants of send her back. But this time, Omar isn't letting it slide. She's unleashing a direct, unapologetic counterattack, turning a campaign stage taunt into a full-blown national confrontation. She warned that Trump wasn't talking about policy, wasn't talking about affordability, and wasn't talking about fixing the economy. Instead, she said he was repeating the same bigoted attacks he has pushed for years because he has nothing else to offer the American people. Trump's rally was billed as an affordability event, a moment where he was supposed to speak about rising prices and the pressures Americans feel every day. But instead, he spent much of the speech recycling old attacks on immigrants and turning Ilhan Omar into a political target once again. It started with Trump mocking her name, her background, and even her clothing.
I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little sheen, the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing, they have no police. They police themselves, they kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about, the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in, therefore she's here illegally. She should get the hell out, throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
none of this is true. Omar's family fled the Somali civil war when she was 8 years old. They spent 4 years at a refugee camp in Kenya before arriving in the U.S. She became a naturalized American citizen at 17 and has served in Congress since 2019. But the factual reality didn't matter. Trump's crowd erupted into chants of send her back, even though Omar cannot be deported under U.S. law. On social media, Omar fired back by pointing out that Trump keeps returning to her because he has nothing real to say about the economy. She said his obsession is beyond weird, and that instead of offering solutions to affordability, he was once again spreading hateful lies. The rally didn't stop there. Trump went even farther, reviving his infamous shithole countries remark from 2018, a comment he once denied making. This time he embraced it proudly. After our supporters shouted the phrase, Trump repeated it from the stage, then described Somalia, Omar's birthplace, as filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. He used this moment to announce what he called a permanent pause on third world migration, including immigration from Somalia, Afghanistan, Haiti, and several African nations.
We want to take care of people, but these people are getting killed on the walk up. They're dying. They're dying. They have to go through jungles. We don't realize this. They are going through areas that are it's not possible to get through some of the areas. They're going through jungles down in the Central America, South America, some of these areas with snakes, with crocodiles and alligators. They're getting just eaten, and they're getting beat up by some of the bad people. Women are being raped. Remember when I started, I said, we're going to stop the raping. And women in those caravans, a name conceived of by me, because it's a caravan, thousands of people, 10, 15, 20,000 people coming up. The women in those caravans are being raped in unprecedented numbers by other people in the caravans. By them not coming, they're not even trying to come now because they know they can't get through. We're doing a tremendous service because they're not being killed and they're not being raped and they're staying back in their country where they've been. And they've been taken care of. I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. I didn't say shithole, you did. Remember I said that to the senators, they came in, the Democrats. They wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people, do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships. But they don't go after our ships. You know why? Because that same missile that knocks the crap out of them, that with the drug dealers from Venezuela and others. That same missile, think of it, from hundreds of miles away, we have the greatest military, we have the greatest equipment, we make the greatest equipment in the world.
He even praised North Korea's border as an example for the United States to follow. Then he tied immigration to inflation, claiming 25 million people came into America and arguing they were driving up prices, a claim economists widely dispute. For Democrats, Trump's latest barrage feels like a flashback to the most combustible moments of his first term. For his supporters, it's red meat, a rallying cry that electrifies the base. And for Ilhan Omar, it's confirmation that Trump's campaign is once again running on fear, resentment, and personal attacks instead of policy. But one thing is clear. As the 2026 midterms ignite, the Trump-Omar showdown is only the opening shot, and the real political firestorm is still ahead.